Okay, come out and show me. Work it, yes. There it is. The room is yours. They are lucky to be in your presence. Now the turn. Yes, you are a tiny god. Dada's here. Let's show him how fabulous you look.
From Disney and Pixar.
Jack has powers?
Yeah, baby!
Now, don't miss your chance to experience the Jack powers not seen in theaters.
Show me the breadth of your mini power. Fabulous. Yes. Oh my God. Fascinating.
See these powers and more in the exclusive all-new short, Auntie Edna. Only when you buy Incredibles 2 on digital and Blu-ray today.
In this film, Helen is chasing criminals, rescuing people. She wants to be there for everybody. It's amazing to see Helen, doing what she does.
Her moniker is Elastigirl. Elasticism allows her to do many more feats than we saw in Incredibles.
I love seeing Helen take center stage. She's the first one in terms of this plan to get the supers legal again. So there's a lot riding on her shoulders.
Helen is initially reluctant to return to work because she's worried about the family.
What do you say? What do I say? I don't know.
When Bob reassures her that he's got this covered, she takes him at his word, and she's completely consumed by the work.
Bye, sweetie.
She does check in on the family. When Dash calls her looking for his sneakers, she takes the call.
I can't find my high tops, and Dad can't find them either. But he won't call you and ask, so I am.
Do not call your mother!
Dash, honey, can't talk right now, but look under your bed, okay?
I think any mother can relate. If you have a profession that you care a lot about, you put your all into that, but it doesn't diminish your love and affection for your family.
I just thought it was kind of cool.
What was?
Fighting crime as a family.
It was cool, but it's over. The world is what it is. We have to adapt.
Seeing an old television with snow on it, I found a bunch of images, and then that led me to op art fashion from the early 60s. Black and white and gray and white, bold stripes. Even just a simple wool with flecks of white and black that looked like snow if you zoomed in. It's a screen.
She's very 60s mod. The rest of the world seems to be circling somewhere around 56. Her clothing choices are so bold. She's got that little mod mini dress, the high boots. I think it suits. For someone as diabolical as that, you'd always have to be a few steps ahead. So maybe it's fitting that she's also a few steps ahead in fashion. That tweed swing coat that she has, I also really actually do want that.
She is not all rosy and perfect. I like that she's a female bad guy.
You're a genius.
Oh, shucks.
Evelyn is a genius, hopefully, who can be converted at some point to doing good.
Wow.
Come on, get yourself together, Karen.
Void is one of the young supers who's been hidden. Who she is against the law. The group of supers that Void is a part of, they're all this little ragtag bunch who's trying to figure out where they belong. I felt like an outcast before, but she gets brought into the fold with other people like her. She fangirls, and Elastigirl is her hero.
We're too late! Get me up to the jet!
She has a really powerful power, and to see her get the chance to use that power in service of Elastigirl is really exciting.
We did thousands of drawings. This board is just faces that have worked in the past that they aren't cast. Show them an art review, and one would get picked out of the hundreds of drawings we did. So when we needed Void, I was going through all those characters we'd already drawn that had strong shapes. She's athletic and angular because she's doing this thing where she has to think fast and be active.
She is actually able to open voids in space. Let's say you were holding a coffee cup. I would be able to create a little series of voids that the coffee cup can fit through, and it would come through space and land in my hand. I mean, it's kind of amazing.
Bigger than ever, perfectly positioned to make some wrong things right. Hence, this meeting. He may come across as a bad guy when you first meet him. He gets carried away with his own ideas, which is kind of a likable flaw. Because we like people who are excited about something and have a plan. He wants the supers to come out of hiding. A potential threat! Perfect! And to reclaim their place in society. It's a worthy goal.
We didn't know for a while if he was going to be good or bad. We knew he would be somewhere in between, though. And so lots of effort went into finding him.
We were working with Story to figure out how obviously villainous should we design him. Just sketching, and we had filled 5 blackboards full of designs. And at one point, something was just not right. He had the nose, and the forehead kind of came up and over. It was very nice. It wasn't quite there. Then I thought to myself, this guy is a shark. He is a business shark. So if his nose was the most prominent thing, I suggested that we just kick back the forehead, swoop right into the hair, into the shark fin. That nose for business, that smelling blood in the water.
We knew he needed to have some intensity, and we found that in his brows. They were down pointed, and he has some pointed features. And he also had to have part of his character that you could trust. His eyes actually oppose his brows. They're kinder looking, where his brows are more intense. So he's got these opposing things. I look at him and say he's sincere. Whether what he's doing is right or wrong, he believes in it.
The bike stuff was super exciting to work on. There was a lot of research done on different types of ways that motorcycles are ridden and like the difference between dirt bikes and road bikes and how this bike is going to react depending on the situation and when the bike comes apart. And yeah, we had endless amounts of reference and inspiration for how to put this all together.
And this was kind of a dream sequence for animators, I have to imagine. I mean...
Yeah, I remember I asked to be on it, and I'm like, I don't ride a motorcycle. I don't know what I'm doing, but I need to be on this sequence. And then when I got my shots, I was like, yes.
I love her hair so much in this sequence. I think the simulation team and Beth's team did such a wonderful job making sure her hair looked on model, but still natural and dynamic. It's this great balance, and she just looks so rock and roll the whole time.
Well, it really sells the speed. You really believe that they're moving when you see the hair whipping like that.
Comic books were an unlimited possibility for me. They leapt into the future. I mean, this is the 50s, and all of a sudden there were people in tights and boots and capes, and they had green hair, blue hair. Comic books predicted the future to be, and all of a sudden, here it is. It's there. I leave home, those people are passing by me every day. They're right there with their tights and capes and boots and orange hair and tattoos and rings in their noses. Comic books seemed to be a world of limitless possibility, and I lived in a world that was limited. Also, we didn't have a TV for a long time. We had a radio. So I sat on the porch with my grandfather at night, and we'd listen to radio dramas.
The sheriff arrived in the mean little town with a list of names.
And I learned to tell stories. My grandfather was a storyteller. He would tell me scary stories. And then he would make me make up a story to tell him. And because we listened to the radio, I learned how to nuance my voice to be scary, to be excited, to be loud, to be the mean guy, to be the good guy. I grew up in a neighborhood that had a lot of kids in it. When we played cowboys or we played war, or we played cops and robbers, we had sound effects. We even had punches. We had our own little adventure music playing in our heads when you're on your bike riding. So I'm still that kind of kid, even when I'm in a booth.
Hey, no lifeguard on duty. Swim at your own risk.
In the world of The Incredibles, we have this rule, and that is that you never do something fantastic very long without doing something mundane. They do live a normal life.
So in the house, the mundane part of it is Bob being at home with the kids and do things like feed them breakfast and put them to bed and do homework, but he's doing so in this evil villain lair type mansion.
The house is this new life that they're being promised that's initially kind of dazzling, but also causes a lot of problems. And I thought, that's a really great thing that they're uncomfortable in this place. There's things like this big rock intruding into the room. There's water going through the house.
Furniture that you can manipulate with a remote control.
When Dash gets a hold of the controls and the floor just keeps opening and closing in different places to create these indoor pools, it's a nightmare if it was in real life and you had kids.
For story, that's perfect. Finding an opening to any movie is always a challenge because you're kind of setting the table for the movie and story to come. We had to remind the audience that Syndrome's jet from the first film destroyed their house. This was interesting because it said what happened directly after that moment. And I imagine that they would have to strategize on what they're going to do. They don't have a house anymore. They don't have a phone. This isn't a universe where cell phones exist. And they would have to somehow get to a phone and call Dicker to come pick them up again. And I think it's funny. It's kind of scruffy and flabby because it's a version that we didn't stay with very long. It is kind of fun and is interesting in showing how we explore these ideas.
That was totally wicked!
I hate to cut short a tender moment, but unless you want to explain this to a crowd...
Come on.
This is your plan? To hide in the bushes of the Sprattlings' backyard?
I suppose you think the Cullys have better bushes. And no, this is not my plan. We need to get to a phone, right, to call Dicker?
Right.
Well, the nearest payphone
We're not
is...
gonna hunt for a payphone, are we?
What do you think we should do? Knock on the neighbor's door wearing our super suits and ask...
When they notice I'm gone, just say I went to call Dicker, okay?
Okay.
That's not gonna affect
Dicker.
Mr. Dicker, that's me, Violet. Violet Park. You know, you just drove us to our house. My parents are superheroes.
Sure, kid.
Yes, the extraction point. Down. They'll know where that is, okay? Yes, the store. Yes, 15 minutes. Bye, Mr. Dicker.
This was an earlier scene, and the idea of it was that it would be interesting to see Edna's usual job. E's first love is to do fashions for superheroes, superwear, and it itches both her design side and her tech side. But the supers are illegal in the world of The Incredibles, and she doesn't get to work with superheroes very much. Most of her work consists of regular fashion for regular models, and this is how she goes about it.
Explain your sudden interest in fashion and babysitting, Robert.
I'm sorry to do this to you, E. I know you're busy, but I didn't know where else to go. Helen's out of town.
Domestic problems, Robert?
Of a superhero nature.
Ah, you have my attention now. I hate this. Destroy it.
Jack has powers. Yes. Not just one, many, and they're all over the place. He's bursting into flames. He's shooting lasers out of his eyes. He's floating between dimensions.
Fascinating. He is a polymorph. Handle it. I endorse your decision.
E, I'm operating on no sleep. I'm telling you, this baby is freaking me out.
Yes.
I don't know where he's gonna be. I don't know what he's gonna be.
Robert?
Anything can happen, and I've got to respond.
Robert!
What?
The baby is gone.
Huh?
What is it, Humphrey?
They're going crazy. They want you to take a bow. And they want the glitter baby.
No glitter baby.
First the team will bow, then the junior designers, then I will come. No glitter baby.
You see what I'm dealing with? Is he going to be liquid or fire lasers or turn into a beach ball? I don't know. And if I don't know what he's going to be, how am I going to contain him? You got to help me.
You need to simultaneously protect the baby and the surroundings and track the baby's movements should he disappear from view. You are lucky, Robert. I am intrigued.
For those who don't remember, Honey is Frozone's wife, and she's never seen in the first film, but she has definitely heard.
We are talking talking about the greater good.
Greater good? I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
We thought that it might be fun if we introduced a person that you learn over the course of the scene is Honey. You see someone reacting to something outside, and the first thing that she does is she presses a remote and the wall turns around and everyone will go, oh, this is Frozone's apartment, that must be Honey. But we felt like we, A, stayed away from the big action scene too long, and that we were killing the momentum that we were gaining by having this big action scene. And B, we also ultimately decided the off-camera-ness of it is part of the joke. And then Honey can be kind of anyone you imagine her to be.
What?
Where's my super suit?
I had to. I'm washing it.
Don't lie to me. I keep that suit spotless. And you better not be trying to hide it on me.
It was filthy.
It was next to godliness, clean and ready for action. I'm not playing with you.
It was filthy. How dare you? How dare you wash your own wife? Lucius, don't you think you can get away from me? Lucius! Yeah!
Probably my favorite of the deleted scenes is Bob and Helen going over to visit Kari, the babysitter's parents.
Hi, Nancy.
Oh, Helen! Bob.
I hope we're not interrupting dinner.
To have them be a little bit mad at the Pars because Kari's not been the same since that particular babysitting gig. It's funny to imagine how any good parent would react to a particularly stressful babysitting gig like Kari had, and the fact that she's not been the same since coming back from it. I thought that was an intriguing way at one point to open the film. Ultimately, it didn't really serve the story that we were trying to tell, and it had limitations to it.
Actually, we'd like to talk to Kari about
We thought it might be best if we just dropped by.
You were supposed to be back late in the evening. You left her in charge of your baby overnight and into the next day.
Well, I'm sorry about that. That was not planned. The kids kind of surprised me.
That took us by surprise as well. A baby's a lot of responsibility for a teenager, and I think Kari got a bit overwhelmed.
She was hysterical.
She calmed down.
She's been twitchy ever since.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Fire. Kari, just the girl I wanted to see. We were talking about when you were babysitting for us. Did you notice anything odd about Jack?
Not that I remember. It's a blank.
But all those phone messages you left us.
Phone messages?
You don't remember.
No. Uh-oh.
Was that... no?
What?
Jack?
That's what I'm talking about. Twitchy.
This sequence deals with an unexpected development at E's house. An earlier version of the plot of this film had dealt with artificial intelligence, and it seemed like it would be good, since E has automated so much of her house, to have the artificial intelligence of her defense systems be corrupted. It just seemed like it would be interesting to have somebody's highly technological house turned against them. I liked Bob having to elude E's defenses. That was kind of the original idea. I'm happy that we went the direction we did with E instead of this, even though this has some cool stuff in it.
I've lost control of my security system.
the cat who's always chill when survival odds are close to near. Frozone.
I'll be there ASAP.
Suit up. It might get weird.
It's all right with me. I'm good. I'm good.
Leave the saving the world to the men? I don't think so.
Here comes Elastica, stretching her arms, Elastica. No one's beyond her reach.
Elastigirl.
Elastigirl.
Elastigirl. You can count on me.
Elastica.
I love superheroes!
Is she having adolescence?
Suit up. It might get weird.
I'll be there ASAP.
Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2 finally comes to digital and Blu-ray.
Where's Mom?
She's at her new job doing hero work.
So things haven't spiraled out of control the moment I left?
I've got this. Everything's great. Why would they change math? Math is math. Math is math.
And when you bring it home, you'll get Auntie Edna, an exclusive all-new short featuring Jack Jack.
Now the turn. Yes, you are a tiny god.
Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2. Get it on digital October 23rd. Bring it home on Blu-ray November 6th. Also new on 4K Ultra HD.